Hello Internet, welcome back to RimWorld. I am the Murder Unicorn, and we are going to be... I wrote down that we need to give Pixie her prosthetic leg, so I think that we are going to do that pretty much immediately. No, we're going to wait until tomorrow so everyone's well rested. I'm also thinking about pulling Turtle off of day shift. I don't know if... So I know if you're a night owl, it's a trait that certain characters have, which is the night owl trait, which means they prefer to be up at night. And I believe if you have the night owl trait and you're up during the day, you get angry and miserable. And I'm wondering if you don't have that trait and you're up at night, are you going to be miserable? Because Turtle and Vaughn fighting is becoming more and more of a frustration to me. And I thought, well, if we pull one off and make them work at night, it would be better. And Turtle primarily cuts plants and cooks, which are things that you can do at night. Whereas Vaughn is more of our kind of go-to person for a lot of things, like construction, and oftentimes we construct out in areas where daylight will help us, because if you craft in well-lit areas, you get better benefits and stuff. Man, he's good at crafting, or at construction. And so I thought we could pull Turtle off and make her a nighttime person, but I don't know if that's going to make her miserable or not. So I probably am going to hold off on that. I think what we're going to do, we're going to make this our prison cell, by the way, and then transfer this into a bedroom. I would really like to move these two into the interior base. It's not strictly necessary, but I think it's something I want to do. Additionally, I was going to wait until wintertime, but it's very midsummer. I think we'll build a second wall around much of our freezer and expand that, and then remove the wood walls and replace them with stone so there's more insulation here. We have visitors. They have a few items to trade. Excellent. We don't really have much to trade, but you never know what they might have. They might have great stuff on them. So we'll do that. This is sterile, so we're ready pretty much to put that prosthetic on her leg. Basically, Pixie, I believe what happened, we had a ZIT event, which is where your batteries unload all their juice and explode one of your conduits. And she just happened to be walking right over top of it. And I say just happened to, but I'm sure that the game did that intentionally, because sometimes they do stuff like that. And yeah, I believe that's when she lost her leg. This is Pixie. She has her leg torn off and she had a kidney destroyed. Kidney, there's not much we can do. We could harvest one from a prisoner, but I don't think your colonists like when you do that. I think they dislike when you harvest organs from living people. So I don't know if we're going to do that, but we can address her leg, because her leg, if we look, why are you weakened? Is it this? It's probably just some of this stuff is making her weak. But you'll see she has poor movement. It's because she has 0 of 30 on her right leg. And we want to give her another leg so she can move a little bit more quickly. Whitlock, if you would kindly go interact with our visitors. Oh, that's a table. No, Whitlock, you're not a table. Talk to the visitor. Let's see what we've got. Some survival meals we could buy. So that's the other thing I was thinking about in between episodes, is that our wealth is increasing. Every time we build like a good weapon, every time we amass more silver, the wealth of our colony goes up. And when that happens, we start to get worse and worse events, scarier events. So I was thinking we should maybe do some things to lower that. We should spend money on some stuff that's not like stuff like medicine where it's overpriced. The actual price is like, yeah, $18. So if we buy it for $20, we're actually losing wealth, but we're gaining things that we need. So I thought we would buy a bunch of medicine. Same with the survival meal. They're worth $24. We're paying $27. We could shell out a bunch of silver to get... but then there are also times when having silver can be pretty valuable. So we did finish that chain shotgun, which we want to give to Vaughn. Shorter range than a typical shotgun, but extraordinarily dangerous due to burst fire. Yeah, do we have anything poor that we want to sell? I think we mostly sold everything poor. Poor. That's fine for now. We may actually have ended up making money in that situation, but it's the same thing with selling items, is that... Oh, cargo pods. Jump. What is this? Psychite tea? No, we're going to leave that forbidden. Hopefully our drug-inclined colonists don't go investigate that. So Turtle, before you do, you're making kibble. That's okay, but can you clean this, please? Great. Let's get Pixie set up for her operation. Install prosthetic leg, right leg. Right leg. Temporarily going to bump her up to regular medicine. So that should make her report to... Where are you? Training Buffalo 2. She should go report to... Okay, resting, yes. To the health bed. Sorry, that's the other thing I want to mention. I'm a little off today. I'm having a real bad time. So I may be a little bit lethargic. I may be a little bit more depressive than I usually am. We're going to probably talk about that, but for now, let's do RimWorld stuff. So we're going to get her squared away. Where are you going, Whitlock? Grab prosthetic leg. And it was sterile in here, so hopefully that's fine. And it's just installing a prosthetic. It's not as though... Prosthetic leg, and you'll see her moving. Well, currently is none because she has anesthetic. But she'll be moving better than before. Is this still sterile? Great. We would have wanted to immediately clean that if that was not sterile. Yeah, I want to expand this freezer a little bit because I want to increase our stockpiles. I don't think... Yeah, survival meals never go bad. So I think it would be prudent. We really need to deal with this whole situation as well. This is getting a bit ridiculous. Does wood deteriorate? It does. So if we leave that outside, it'll deteriorate. I'm assuming blocks do as well. I thought if you left stone unroofed and outdoors, it wouldn't be a big deal, so we could move the stone. In fact, why don't we test that? What we're going to do is create a stockpile zone. We'll just make it 1. You'll see if we hover here, it's outdoors, it's unroofed. I think it's unroofed. How do we look at roofs? Yeah, it's unroofed. So we'll go ahead and we'll put, I don't know, clear all. And we want stone would be raw resources. Although it's manufactured, right? It's bricks. Okay, maybe not. Stone blocks. And we'll put some slate blocks out here. And we'll make this the highest priority. So they'll move those out there and we can test if they deteriorate over time. Because if they do not deteriorate, we will move those outside somewhere. So we can save some space out here. Vaughn is working. Good job, Vaughn. Kimmy is trying to recruit. Pixie's still unconscious. Vaughn is having a break risk. Whitlock is researching. Turtle, what are you doing? Sewing area? Yeah, do that. That would be nice. I would like to get more stuff planted. And we're also ready to get our heal root as well, which we will harvest. But I believe her priority is on planting over harvesting. Minor break risk. Let's look. Turtle. She grows and plant cuts at the same priority. So she should put planting first because it's more left on that particular menu. Hauling kibble. Yeah, kibble's important as well. We have 3 muffalos now, so it's pretty... Oh, we need to remove our area for the animals because we allowed them into our plant area, which has, I believe, allowed them to eat these plants, is what it looks like to me. Because I feel like... I mean, Kimmy, what are you even doing? She's cutting the plants? Okay. I mean, that's fine. Let's clear allowed area and make sure that they don't go into our crops at all. This was before we had planted here, so I think that they didn't really... I mean, we didn't know that we were going to be planting here, so we're going to do that just to prevent them from getting into our food, because that's why we make the kibble, so that they will eat the kibble. We'll remove this as well. Well, we kind of don't want to do that because then they can't come over here. I mean, there's no reason for them to come over there. I also noticed no one hauled this. Pixie, how are you doing? Let's look at her. Moving 88%, which was better than like 60 whatever it was. So not amazing, but pretty good. And part of that is because the prosthetic leg is not actually functioning at 100% efficiency. So that's okay. We'll get her like a proper bionic at some point. Vaughn also is a prostophile. Transhumanist. He's a transhumanist, which means that he does not like having he wants to have a non-human body part. Transhumanist frustrated. Wish I had some kind of artificial body part. So at some point we'll probably look into getting him bionics as well, but that's not something we need to worry about currently. I did say about renaming the animals. Apparently that is something that happens only when they are trained. The training person will give them a name. And so for the time being, we're not going to have... Okay, so they did put these outside. Let's watch and make sure that to see if they deteriorate over time or not. Have a lot in our freezer. Why don't we start expanding this? We're kind of running out of limestone. Someone also said that you should build your freezer out of steel, which to me seems counterintuitive to have sun beating down on a steel building. But also, I guess steel is a heat sink of some sort, so I don't know things. Who is starving? Kimmy is starving. Why? And why are you eating raw food? Oh no. Cook fine meal. We forgot to cook meals. So today Turtle will spend all day cooking. Before you do that, clean the dirt. Yeah, I'm just having a not so good time. It's funny, yesterday I felt really good, really had a pretty okay day. Need to cut this tree down because it's going to interfere with this. Blocked by oak tree. Yeah. And also this one. This one should be blocked by oak tree. Oh, hello tree. We'll cut the bush as well just because we can. Yeah, yesterday, fine. Having a fine day, pretty okay day, pretty good day even. And went to work and everything was late by about 2 hours. And because I'm not an hourly rate guy, I get paid a flat amount of money, and I'm an independent contractor. So they basically, for 2 hours, were like, hey, they're not going to be here for 2 hours. And it's like, well, what they told me was, hey, it'll be here in like an hour. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to go home, drive all the way home, sit for 20 minutes, and then drive all the way back. So just ended up sitting in the parking lot. But of course, it didn't show up an hour and a half later. It showed up 2 hours later. And I ended up just sitting in this parking lot, and there's nothing I can do, and I'm just sitting there the whole time. I'm like, this is just more evidence. They don't respect me. They don't value my time. I'm not getting paid for this. They don't pay me for that because I'm a flat rate employee. I just get paid X amount of dollars. It has nothing to do with how long I actually work. So it's like, they're not paying me for this. They don't respect me, and that just sort of snowballs out of here. Vaughn, yeah, why don't you take a break from that? Why don't you get outside? Because he's in the dark. He's in an ugly environment. Why don't you... What do you do if I draft you? You're still going to dig? Uh-huh. Why don't we set up... Let's look at our brick situation. We have... Wow, like no bricks? Uh-huh. Let's unsuspend this. We'll make it out of slate. Slate is by far the most common thing, the most common material that we have. So I think because this whole mountain is made of slate, so we'll get we'll get Pixie to work on, you can finish eating, but then I want you to come work on bricks. And then, this room is dirty. Clean it before you cook. Oh, we got milk? Oh, we got muffalo milk at some point. So that's neat. We're already milking our muffalos. I don't know how quickly they generate milk. 3.7 milk fullness. I mean, 40%. It's the wool that's really slow, which makes sense. Okay, yes, so we're going to make this out of slate. We have some slate blocks, but not a lot. Slate blocks? Granite blocks. I don't know where we even found granite blocks. We probably deconstructed something. So for now, we're going to go ahead and mark slate and we will build, well, not in front of the cooler, and we'll go ahead and build this out. And what I think I'll do, I'll put this on the interior and then expand it here so we have more space. Does herbal medicine go bad? It does go bad. So we want that to be in the freezer. Unfortunately, this is fine. This is going to deteriorate. It does take a long time. So we don't necessarily need to refrigerate it because it does take a long time to go bad. And because we've now queued construction, Vaughn should prioritize that and get him out of that environment where he will be less likely to snap and murder his ex-wife. Yep. Oh, you were hauling for me? Good job, doggy. My dogs, they're good dogs. Sit, Ubu, sit. Yeah, so I sat at work for hours, and then of course it's not just like, oh, well, you know, I get home 2 hours later. Well, no, since I'm leaving 2 hours later from work, it means I actually spend longer on the road because it's like 5 a.m. traffic where everyone's going to work. And so, you know, it took me many hours to get home. I was going to record when I got home from work yesterday, and like I didn't have time. I just, it just messed my whole day up, honestly, my whole morning up. And yeah, it made me pretty miserable. And then I came home, and I don't know, sometimes with depression, if you have depression, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're not really keeping up with our kibble generation. Really need to get someone else working on cooking. What I think I'll do, let's look at cooking. Cook 0, 4, 3. So is this includes kibble? So Whitlock will now I will be able to tell Whitlock to make kibble to free up Turtle to do other things. Turtle, when you wake up, please clean this. Pixie is there hauling, which is great. We need someone to haul those stones out and make Vaughn a little less psychopathic. Why don't we also lay power cables while we're here? We'll just run them through the halls. We probably don't have steel for this, but that's not steel. Yeah, we have enough steel for that. And, you know, sometimes that's just how depression is. You know, one little thing that ends up spiraling and becoming a really big deal that I came home and all I could think is like, what is the point? Why are you trying? You know, like why do you keep, you know, these people don't value your time. You know, you have no value to your time. It means nothing. For you, like you're worthless, you know, you're trash. This is all trash. Life is meaningless. You're not making any progress in your life. You know, like it literally, I know it's so dumb because it starts with this small little innocuous thing, and then before too long you're like, why am I even here? You know, why do I even bother? Why am I even trying to, like, life never gets better, everything is so hard. Why am I like this? You know, it just snowballs into a whole thing. And so that was my morning, was I had to stay up because I got home from work, but Mondays I have to go back out for work and do other things in the morning. So I came home from work and was basically waiting to go back to work, and I was just miserable, sad, angry at my boss, angry at myself, you know. It was just a bad day, and it's like there was no reason for it to be a bad day, you know. I don't know what I'm saying. It just is, the depression eats into you sometimes, and it becomes hard to be, I guess. I don't know. We also want to replace these with auto doors. That way they can move more quickly in and out, and it's not going to slow them down. I think someone said the best thing to do would be to make, like, no, don't hold open. Oh, blight. Blight's a big deal, especially because we were growing so many crops. Thankfully, this section of our growth is separate from this section of our growth. So what we need to do is cut all the blight plants. I don't know if you can auto select. No, you can't. So we're gonna have to one at a time select these to be cut, and then what we will do is wait for replanting, until such a time as they have cut the blighted plants. In fact, you know what? This is tedious. Harvest all of them, cut all of them. And we will temporarily, what are we growing? Fully grown. This needs re-sowed, but that's not a super big deal. We have a full harvest of herbal medicine. How much do we have? 28. That's pretty good. So that's not like a huge priority. Right now I want them to cut these plants, which should be something Kimmy will do, yes. And then once the blight is gone, we can replant and it will be fine. Turtle, don't do that. Making kibble, no. Whitlock, make kibble. Yeah, so that turtle can be free to do other things. Is the whole point of nope. Need material. So we must be at our max kibble. I would like to increase our max kibble. It goes up one at a time, huh? Say 300? 300 kibble, I think. I don't think it really goes bad. Oh, that's the other thing I meant to do as soon as I started playing, which was set up a grow zone for hay. Because I think using our primary food sources for the animals is a little bit we shouldn't be doing. I would like to... Let's not do that. Let's just set up this kind of weird side area, and we'll set this up to grow hay grass. I'm curious how much you get, because I'm betting it's much more efficient to grow hay. It's at 59%. Maybe we'll just leave that out there to rot. We can harvest some berries. Transport pod. Guy named Kern is crashing in a transport pod nearby. If he survives, he will be badly wounded. Not affiliated with any faction. Well, let's look at your stats, Kern. Oh, you crashed in my base? I mean, I guess that's lucky. Man, we're getting a lot of old people. Vaughn is 55. Whitlock, 53. What's her name? Turtle is 45. And then these two are pretty young, I guess. Kern, let's check you out. You have a gunshot. Interesting. Death in 3 hours? I mean, you're still savable. Shooting is pretty good. I mean, incapable of social, artistic. Volatile pyromaniac. That's not going to work for me, Kern. So, unfortunately, I mean, I guess we could save him and release him. We don't have to let him die. Whitlock, kindly rescue... Yeah, you should rescue him because then you can treat him immediately. I mean, I don't want him to join our colony, though. Wait a minute. If we rescue him... No, capture him. If we capture him, we can release him. If we save him, he might join the colony, which I don't really want because he's a pyromaniac. They set stuff on fire. So go ahead and put a bed down for him. Then we will capture him. And then we will release him. Because we don't really want him in the colony. Now, hopefully he doesn't get so angry he starts setting things on fire. Although, to be fair, he'll just burn himself because he'll set the furniture on fire. And then they'll suffer burns and the walls won't catch because they're stone. So, we're not super worried about that. For social, now for prisoner, we're going to go to release. So, once he's healed up, we're going to release him. Whitlock... Pixie, why are you... Oh, Kimmy's treating. Okay, I was going to say, Pixie's not a doctor. Medical emergency for Kern. Yeah, well, that's why she's treating him. And there you go. So we'll release him in a couple of days. Freezer's looking pretty good. Medicine does not go bad either, so we're not going to want that necessarily in there. We really need these plants cut. Why didn't you continue cutting plants? Also, I heard an animal die, which always makes me nervous, but our animals should be okay. Harvest botched. Do not sow this field. Okay. I mean, at least they're cutting them. We can also harvest our cotton plants. We really are running out of places to put stuff, though. Once Vaughn starts hacking this out, we can make this our stockpile, and we can sort through what needs to stay in and what doesn't. Instead, what we're going to do, we're going to expand... I don't know. Okay. This zone. Stockpile zone. I don't think they like looking at stockpile zones. We'll make this stockpile zone kind of out of the way. We'll copy settings here. No, we don't want that. Just delete it. Set up this storage to only take in stone blocks. That way we can get them out of our main thing. And because this is unroofed and outside and it did not deteriorate over the last couple of days. So we'll set that up and we'll set that to critical so that they automatically take stone from this one to put in here and from here to put in here. So that should take care of some of that. Vaughn still hasn't constructed a bed, which is weird because I thought his construct was higher than mining. So why isn't he constructing? A little concerning. And then of course we're in the process of recruiting Meerkat. Still very difficult to recruit. And the reason for that we want him, and he's going through withdrawal, but he should beat that in the next couple before we, you know, make him a colonist. Bandit, yeah, it's not something we're going to do right now. And we're doing that mostly because he's pretty okay at construction, but mostly we just need another set of hands on the colony, I think. His shooting is 0, which is worrisome, but we can address that. In fact, why don't we give Vaughn some other things to build today? We'll build a slate table. Bam. And some slate chairs. Can't build slate chairs? Wood it is. We'll build a couple of chairs just to see maybe we can get some good ones. Maybe we can replace some of the other chairs. I mean, he did a great job the first time around. Title. Oh, it has art on it? Art. An engraving on this furniture illustrates a line surrounded by circles. The work is infused with the idea of kindness and is done in a classical style. Kindness, eh? That's interesting because you and Turtle hate each other. Doesn't seem like a kind thing. Turtle, I just told you to clean. Clean, please. Yeah, I don't know. I just got miserable. You know, and then I started watching Lars and the Real Girl, which is like a really good movie with Ryan Gosling, who is amazing, by the way. Why is this here? I don't want this. Isn't this addictive? Mild addiction. I mean, mild's not bad. Also, what are you addicted to? Ambrosia. We could give him that, but we're not going to. We don't want him to have that. And it's like a really good movie, but it's about a guy who has like, I mean, I don't know if it's ever really made clear. I only watched about half of it, didn't finish it because I had to go to bed, but I don't remember if they ever make clear what exactly is going on with him. But to me, it just struck me as like really crippling social anxiety. And that was something that I really identified with. And watching him be awkward and uncomfortable and nervous really just reminds me of how I'm like that. And it made me pretty sad. Yeah, it made me pretty sad. I mean, we could make some beer. I don't have a problem with beer. Psychoid brewing, tree sowing. We could grow some trees as well. Really, we need to get the high-tech research bench up and running. Why don't we look into that? I mean, really, let's call the episode. And then in the next episode, I will look into the high-tech research bench. So, yeah, for now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I'll be back with more in the near future. See you next time.